Welcome to Writing Along. Today's episode is about using your religion in your writing, which isn't exactly a terrible thing. Everyone has their own perspective of the world around them, some more spiritual than others, some more tied to, ancient teachings that go back. Who even knows how far they go back, right? But for the most part, everyone subscribes to some kind of ideology, even if it's just the one that doesn't really put a face or a name to anything. So with that, feel free to include it in your writing. It's not anything to really step away from or step back from, especially if you really, really believe in it and you've seen some kind of change in your life with it. It really doesn't hurt your writing at all to include little bits and pieces of it there. What you don't want your writing or book to become is essentially this kind of like pamphlet, just promoting it. You just want to kind of incorporate it the way you incorporate it into your own life. Especially if you're doing storytelling, you're telling a narrative, you're telling events that are occurring from one end to another. Incorporate certain realizations and certain aspects and whatever's important to the character or characters. Let it be shown in the context and of this belief system that you're subscribing to, that you really not just subscribe to, but that you really strongly connect with and have seen it become real in your own life. If it's something that really defines every single day that you live, then honestly, including it in your writing is just going to make that even stronger. It's going to make that connection even more so clear to you, and you're going to know why you're believing it. And you ought to know why you're believing in something if it's like a cornerstone of your life. So it's like duality effect. You're enhancing it for yourself, your own understanding of your core beliefs, and you're spreading it to other people. You're letting other people know, hey, this has changed my life, and I'm able to see things a little differently because of this. And it has this effect. Everybody wants to know me, like what does this do for me? So show it, let it be evident. Most likely you believe in what you believe in because, again, it's had some impact on the way you experience the world around you. Therefore, you probably shouldn't be shy of showing that, and you shouldn't even have any reservations about showing it because you know it to be true and real for yourself. Make it true and real through your story, and people will have that same experience, almost just not passively, but not directly. You're the one who had it, but you're showing them what it was like, and they're getting a glimpse at it as well, and they'll be able to know if it's authentic or not. If you were telling some kind of religious story and you didn't really believe in it, it would show through your writing in an instant. It just would not be consistent. And the smallest degree, you'd have one inconsistency, and that would just be this glaring, like just, it cuts all credibility and authority with what you're saying. So that's how I really think you should approach including your religion in your writing, because otherwise you can just stuff every page with this and that about this is why you should believe it, this is why you should not do this is why you should. But no one cares. People don't just want to be, thrown at this abstract concept that makes sense to you, but how did you experience it? You had again, I said it in the word, in the sentence. You had an experience. So you want to bring that through the pages, through whatever story you're telling. It doesn't really matter what that story is or what it looks like, which is to say you'll have your own unique one that you're going to bring forth through your writing. So a lot of people don't really believe in anything right now. So not just right now, but I mean in general, it's hard to grab onto something when everybody always seems to be so predatory with their religion. Every religious belief or spiritual understanding of the world is always has some kind of silver lining in it. It's like a cult or something, or it's just not real, and you sense that, and that's why a lot of people are just, they don't care. They've heard enough of it. So give a real story, give a real example. If there's nothing you do believe in right now, then this video is really not for you. But if you do have something that's really significant, that's spiritual, that's not directly in front of your eyes, that you can see, but you've seen changes, you've seen significant effects in the world that you experience because of your belief system, you'd be providing a lot of value by including that in your stories. Don't be afraid of it. Show it. Otherwise, if you don't show it through your writing and you really do feel it, there's going to be this sense reading you as a reader that oh, there's something missing. Are they hiding something? They're not showing me all of them. And they're not going to know what it is. They're just going to feel it and not really feel as attracted to your writing. Because it's like, oh, they're not showing me their true selves, all of them that they would normally show in their lives. And what's the point of having something that works for you in your life and you don't share That's proof in itself that it may be not really something. It's a challenge you got to give yourself. Is this really something that means anything to me if I'm not willing to share it with others? If I don't feel that enthusiasm to, because it's changed me, it can change others as well if they're open and receptive to hearing it. And you don't really want to be tearing other kind of belief systems down, because that doesn't really work out. You show yours, you show how yours works for you, and if it really resonates with them, if the belief that you have is so central, is such a core to everything, guess what? It's going to spread. People are going to be receptive to it. That doesn't mean they're going to just start believing in it necessarily, but their guards are going to be put down significantly. You'll be contributing to that belief system that you have as a whole, which most people aren't doing. They're not able to do that. They're able to talk to maybe a limited amount of people, but with a book, with writing, you're able to disseminate that all over the world in different corners. I mean, your books could be translated years from now. Someone who's not even you will distribute them for you. That kind of thing. You don't know what kind of effect and kind of an impact you can have when you do that kind of thing. So including your religion it's key. It's essential. You can't really go without it if you do believe in something. I'm sure there are plenty of writers who think they shouldn't, because they think, oh, it's going to limit my audience. Suddenly, the people who would read me are going to be much smaller. But that's not really the way it works. You're just opening people's eyes to things. I've read plenty of books that come from some kind of spiritual place that I don't follow at all what their spiritual leader, teacher is bringing forth. But I just find it interesting. I find it fascinating, and it makes me less adept to like criticize or come against it, because I'm like, oh, this is what it is. This is where it's coming from. This is what it does for people. This is what it's done for this person. And who am I to tear that down, really? And I understand it. I've recommended books that have that kind of stuff, and I don't even believe in it, and because it's a great story, and it tells me something. It reveals something to me, and again, gives some kind of credibility, some kind of authority to the belief system. And it does take a little bit of faith, and faith is something that's infectious. It has to be seen. It has to be witnessed from others having it as well, and when they have it, you can have it as well yourself too. So seeing others believe in something, you might be thinking, oh, look, they're just blindly believing something. But when you have that conversation with somebody who is aware of the world, who is aware of themselves and what's going on, and has a very deep spanning mind that can think of all these things and think of all the factors, how they could be wrong and how this doesn't make sense and this is logical, this isn't. Those kinds of people are the ones who you see them believing, you see them having faith, and you have to take a double take. Like, oh wow, their life was changed by this. That has to mean something. Wow. So that's significant, especially if you've had a story in your life where you didn't believe in it before, and suddenly you did. What was that moment that revealed that to you? What showed you that deeper side to life? What gave you that? And give it to others, because some people might go their lives without ever seeing that, and their experience of seeing it will be the one that you give to them, that you show to them. Plenty of people give their stories in that regard, but again, it's always limited to whoever they come across in their actual daily lives. But there's only so many people you meet in your lifetime. You cannot meet everybody. You can be in a huge association with millions of people, billions. You're still not going to reach everyone. Not everyone's going to hear you. Not even close. People might hear the sound of your voice, but they're not hearing what you're saying. Writing is so much more personal, and the very fact that it can be, again, just put out there in the world. You don't know where people are finding it. You don't know when they're finding it. That is something so valuable that you're going to be able to have with your writing, and your religion is going to shine through. Maybe you don't even like to call it a religion. It's just this belief that you have, this sense of spiritual connection with the world and with your creator, your God, your understanding and your lack of understanding, the part of yourself that you say, okay, this is where my mind stops, and this is where I surrender to that which is above me or around me or surrounding me, outside of my own comprehension. And it's that gateway. It's that you can call it a portal, I guess, but that sounds a little out there. No, more or less like just the gateway there, like the path there. You're showing it. You're making it real. You're saying, hey, I went there. I traveled through that path, and this is where it took me. This is where it led me. And I didn't expect to be here. I didn't expect to see this. It's always that unexpectedness which really creates some kind of significant impact. Where it's, I never in my life thought, fill in the blank. That kind of stuff is the stuff that really sticks with people because they think for themselves, wow, well, I never would think that either. So what did it take for them? This might show me something. Like maybe this is what it'll take for me as well. And everyone's always kind of seeking something that challenges their own thoughts, whether consciously or unconsciously, because from that kind of challenge, you develop and grow as a person. You're improving your mental capacity, your understanding of everything, and who doesn't want to understand what's going on around them, even just a little bit, even just a tiny bit, even just surrendering their own understanding again to that which is beyond them. If you are interested in writing a book, check out How to Write a Book in 30 Days. It's a free guide. I give them my website. It's available. Send it to your inbox, and I will see you on the next episode. Thank you for tuning in.